My next guest has won a BAFTA, dodged bullets in Pakistan, witnessed a witch hunt and even survived the wrath of Barbara Windsor. Which was worse? Well, his most recent venture might seem his most difficult yet, as he's visited some of the poorest areas of the earth to discover just how extreme living can be, including right here at home. Please welcome Ross Kemp. People always imagine acting to be a glamorous world. Well, if it is, you left the glamour far behind in Albert Square. Not that Albert Square's ever been glamorous. I mean, talk about jumping in at the deep end. This is really serious stuff.
Yeah, it was about time I got introduced to the real world, I guess. I was there for 10 years, and it was a great 10 years, and I enjoyed it immensely. But I think if I'd done it any younger if I tried to attempt to do what I'm doing now, when I was younger, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it or appreciate it or had the stamina to do it, really.
Also, the nerve. I mean, these are trouble spots that you go to, as well as the one we'll talk about in a second in Glasgow, but, I mean, quite unnerving. I mean, life-threatening, I would have thought at times. Are you in danger?
Well, not in Glasgow, but yeah, in Pakistan, we're on the roof, we went and saw a warlord there called Uzair Baloch. He'd called himself a politician in Karachi, and a firefight erupted because he'd gone on a walkabout with us. The police, that was actually that day, yeah, where that photograph is now. And he was standing on the roof organising his troops inside Karachi, which is a bit odd. There's about 1.8 million people living in Liari, which is the area that he controls. He's a Balochistani. Most of the people that live in Liari are Balochis. And the police want him. He's accused by the police of committing 28 murders and running torture cells. So when he moved away, my cameraman and myself, Jonathan, moved into where he was, and the sniper, I hope, that was aiming for him, put a bullet between me and Jonathan.
Dangerous game. I mean, you know...
Well, it's not the first time I've been shot at by the critics while I was acting and by people from other parts of the world.
Do you think it make a difference, Ross? Is that what you do? I mean, do you think what you do makes a difference?
Do I think it makes a difference? I hope it does. I mean, how can you tell? People say, oh, it's a massive bit of rebranding and you must have thought deeply about this. Like most things in life, it happened by complete accident. I was asked... I got what I always wanted in a way. I worked very hard, I thought, for 10 years at EastEnders, and I got a great contract to go to ITV to act. And all of a sudden, I had 6 months off. And there's only so many times you can catch a fish on your own or play golf on your own or do anything, really, on your own. And I got asked to stand in before people had turned this job down to do a thing about America's love affair with guns. And during the making of that documentary, I met a guy who'd been shot 27 times, who I'm still in touch with. He was a gangster, a Blood and Crips, 2 gangs in Los Angeles. And I felt that this guy, had he been born somewhere else, because he was so bright, he would have had a very different life. And he was the antithesis, really, of all the gangsters that I'd seen on MTV. He didn't have the bling, he didn't have a pneumatic blonde, he had a very, very large wife with 2 children, either hip and a blocked toilet, and he was scared every time a car slowed down outside the house in case it was a drive-by. And the fear that I saw in his eyes, even though this was incredibly brave or wicked man, depending on which way you look at it, I thought that was a story worth telling.
Yeah. You're telling stories now. I mean, one which, as you said, will surprise us. It's all about extreme situations in the world, extreme poverty. In Glasgow, I mean, now people will think that's past tense in Glasgow. Poverty is relative, but as you can see from those pictures, this is abject poverty.
But this is not just about Glasgow. This is about the United Kingdom. I think it's very wrong for me to go to other places in the world and look at the problems that they have without acknowledging the problems that we have in our own country. We spend over £100 billion a year on welfare. The welfare system, we are the grandfathers of the welfare system. It was invented here. And we have to question whether the money's going in the right direction and have, as aspirational poverty, the idea that you never see anything further than where you are now because your father was unemployed and his father was unemployed. We have to work out where we're going now as a society, and so the film is not... It is based in Glasgow, but ultimately it's looking at the whole of the country.
Does it give you, as an individual, an idea of how things could be improved? What changes could be made to make it better?
Because I know the next question you're going to ask me, what would you do, Ross?
Well...
yes, it does. And who am I to say those things, but I am fortunate
you've got a
enough.
voice, you've been close up to it. What
I
would
am
you
fortunate
do
enough to have
make a
gone to
difference?
Afghanistan some 15 times and been around the world in the last 5 years quite a lot. In terms of the poverty in the
Yes.
UK, I think that people said to me, oh, you said it was the toughest. It was the toughest emotionally because I am as guilty as many people of turning a blind eye to it and also actually being ignorant of what was going on under my own very nose, in London here and across the UK.
At the risk of sounding like Paxman, you haven't answered my question. How would
I
you
do?
change it?
OK, I think it's about, us readdressing the way that we look at poverty and the homeless in the UK. Not that there's always a connection, but there is generally a connection between homelessness. And there's a wicked cycle out there of, just say you're on the streets, it's coming towards Christmas or winter, it's getting cold, they will commit, most of the guys I spoke to, will commit a crime to go to prison. Now, think about how much that's costing us, not only as a society, because they're committing crimes against the law-abiding members of society, but also how much it's costing us to keep these guys in prison. And wouldn't it be better... And one of the things I went to Glasgow is because they have put into some really, really good, developed some very good ideas. One of them is supported accommodation, where they help guys that have been on the streets for a number of years. It's run by the Salvation Army in collusion with Glasgow Council, and actually they came up with the Glasgow Council. And basically, it teaches you basically how to readjust to get back into society. Because if you've been out on the streets for a long period of time, and I just met a Falklands vet who was out for 15 years on the streets, he can't suddenly go and go to the doctors or make a dentist appointment or even literally put the kettle on. He's used to cutting down some tree and setting fire to it and, you know, putting something on the stove.
It's a long and complex problem situation, but hopefully one which this at least gives an insight into and maybe spurs people into doing something which can make a difference. It's on Sky 1, 9 p.m. Monday nights. That's tonight. My thanks to Ross Kemp.
Thank you, as always, sir.
Thank you. My next guest has sold more than 11 million albums worldwide and is one of the most successful female acts of the last decade and surely one of the busiest. Having married at the start of this month, she's now back with her 5th album. Please welcome Katie Melua.
Maya Sugar. Katie.
Katie, first of all, huge congratulations, 1st of September. You got married.
I did.
Not like you. That's
Yeah,
right.
do you know, you're right, it really isn't. I never thought I would, but I did, and it
Who
was
did you marry?
incredible. Oh, I married James, my, fiancé, obviously,
Yeah.
and his full name's James Toseland.
What does he do?
Well, he used to be a world superbike champion, and now he's a musician. And I visited him yesterday in the studio because he was making his first album.
Wonderful.
That's really exciting.
And you're about to go on tour. Now, does this mean separation immediately we're married?
Well, no, hopefully not. He's going to come and visit me quite a bit.
That's good.
Yeah.
So touring
So-
absolutely everywhere. Britain and then Europe, I gather.
Yeah, Britain, I'm playing London, I'm playing Glasgow and lots of other dates in the UK, and then we're going off to the rest of Europe.
Wonderful. Take your music to the rest of the world. Now, you're going to do as... you've got the album out, it's been out for a while. This is the new single.
It is. It's called Walls of the World, and it's out today.
How timely.
Yeah.
Come here first. It's lovely to have you with us.
Thank you so
Bless
much for
I'll let
having
you
me.
get ready and go give the big announcement.